the hero has to face trials and dangerous monsters. But there are also trials in your life. Do you know how the mythological trials matter in your life? Stage 5 of the hero's journey. The road of trials. The hero is now equipped with the proper supernatural aid, with tools, with advice. He has given everything he needs to pass his adventure successfully by the mentor. And now he has to face the actual challenges. He has to face the demons, the dragons, the monsters. This is very often perceived to be the main part of adventure. It's the moment where the hero has to fight the awful creatures that mythology has come up with. This is the moment where Hercules has to face the Nemean lion or the Hydra and many similar monsters and creatures, including finally the Cerberus, the monster that guards the gateway to the underworld. But not all the tasks that he has are tasks to fight or capture or defeat a monster. Sometimes it's to solve a task that is seemingly impossible. For example, one of his tasks is to clean the Jungian stables, which are considered to be so dirty that it is impossible to do so within one day, but he has to do it in one day and find a solution to that. So not all the challenges are, challenges of fighting and of courage. Sometimes it's cognitive challenges as well. The hero is going to be challenged in all kinds of ways. And that's not only in mythology, that's also in fairy tales. Think of the brave little tailor and his challenges. He had to fight giants, he had to capture a unicorn, and not all of these tasks were done by muscle power. In fact, in case of the brave little tailor, none of them was. So this is the stage where all kinds of challenges have to be overcome. And the pictogram for this stage is exactly that. It's the hero fighting the dragon, which is probably the most archetypal form of this stage. A hero using the sword and the shield that he was given by his mentor and now applying them by fighting the dragon. If we apply this stage on our own projects in our life, this stage is activating resources and preparing conditions for success. Now you might think this is the moment where the main thing is done that it's all about. This is where the main transformation takes place, but that's not the case. In mythology, the main transformation is something that happens much later, and in fact, it's not even included in all myths, or at least not as a major thing. Some myths actually feature this phase as the main thing, but the deepest transformation, and some of the myths describe an actual, for example, a death and rebirth of the hero or some major thing, that's going to happen later. Now, we're still in the phase where we set up this main transformation which comes later. And this is really the setup phase. Think about it like this. If you have a gun, that's not enough. Because unless it is loaded, nothing much is going to happen. So you first need to load the gun. And in fact, you have to have bullets to load the gun. Otherwise, it's going to be useless. So the activation of the gun is an important part. But you might say, okay, wait a moment. What if the hero has a sword? A sword, you don't need to activate that. Well, kind of, because the activation isn't all about having bullets or having arrows or something like that. It's also, because you might still think of this as a resource, is more so being able to actually use the weapon, to have trained with the weapon, to be to have the conditions for success. You can't go into battle when it's the first time in your life you're holding a sword. Well, at least not if you want to have any realistic chances to survive. So you need to have some preparation. And very often the challenges we have in life is that we need to train, that we need to prepare. That's actually what the road of trials is all about. It's the trials of training, of learning, of preparing, of improving. Missing out on this stage can be a source of failure. If you haven't done what is necessary to really prepare, to really train, to really set up the conditions for success, then you may fail. So, for example, in a social context, the conditions for success are the agreements that you have with the other person. You want to have this positive connection, you want them to be in your boat. That's the stage 4 thing. But in stage 5, you also have to have an agreement. You have to have a common framework that you will be both on the same page. And sometimes that can be a little bit of a struggle or a minor fight with the other person. I hope it's not a fight, but you can see how the metaphor works. Missing out on this stage is a little bit like having a car but no fuel, or having a car and the fuel but some other ingredients is missing, or in fact having no idea how to drive a car. All this, these details, this practice, these trials that you may have experienced going through your own driving license, which is a trial, which is quite literally a trial. You're on trial whether you will succeed, whether you can drive or whether you can't drive. It's all those details. There's not enough to have the resources or the understanding of where to get the resources. You need to prepare them, you need to activate them. At this stage of the hero's journey, the hero faces the second challenger. The first challenger was the refusal and perhaps somebody who personified it. The second challenge is probably much tougher. That's the demon, the dragon, the monster. Now we call it the demon because that's the most universal term that Joseph Campell used. It is whatever creates an emotional challenge for you to take the next step, to be really ready, which is what stage 6 is all about. It can be the training, it can be activating your resources that needs to be done at this stage. So I'm curious, thinking about your own life, what are your biggest challenges? What are challenges that you are facing right now in your life? If you'd like to let us know, tell us a little bit about it in the comments and how you want to apply this hero's journey process to your own life. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and perhaps leave some comments. And at the end of this video, we have a little bonus for you. We've collected some videos of people who have accessed some weapons of some kind, so they have kind of stage 4 ready, but they definitely haven't mastered stage 5. They have not trained well with these weapons, and you'll see what happens in this situation. I hope you enjoy. See you again in the next video.
Sting. Ow. Hang on. Joe Sting. Yeah. Oh.
I just fucking shot myself.
Glock 23, 33 round magazine. Ow!
Dragon
Twister.
Bull
Charge.